Alright, so it's 3:30 in the morning on a Sunday. Tomorrow's Monday. I have nothing to do, no place to be, and I'm bored right now, so figured I might do a tutorial or a walkthrough, whatever you want to call it, of how I get all the videos for the Smash Bros. Nova Scotia channel ready to upload and junk. Okay, so today is Sunday, like I said. Well, today is Monday. Yesterday was Sunday, the 22nd. We had a bi-monthly, a Smash 4 round robin, and we streamed it, and my station was a recording station, so they saved all the replays, and I recorded them on my own time. And well, let's show off those replays that I recorded. They're all right here. This is all of them. Like, these are all the sets. The total size is 223 gigabytes, so it's not a small amount of movies. And each folder has a number of videos to them. These are all, like, I want to say that this one particular set is all 3 matches, 1, 2 to 1. So this is how many videos there are. It's, as you can see down here, 41 gigabytes, 16 minutes long. That's going to be trimmed down a little bit because it's going to take out all the loading times. It's going to take out the in-between times from when one replay ends and another begins, etc., etc. To start with, the program that I use is not in here. It's not any of these. Program I use is in here and then down here. I use VirtualDub and MeGUI. These are the 2 programs that I use. I'm going to open up VirtualDub, and I actually use something called a command line called AVISynth. And this is what I use. It's not a program. It has no GUI. It's all text-based. Everything I do in here, all the edits that I make are all handwritten. So when I start off doing the editing for these videos, I have all these videos. So I need to write in this file that, like, just for example, I'm going to say AVI source, and then this, and then this, and then I would put down filename.avi, and then there, I would save this, and then I would take this file and open it in here, but it says, hey, there's nothing called filename.avi in the folder that this script is in. So we have to change that. I would normally have to just use the whole file name, just like that. Press save and then open that up. And there it is. Oh, however many minutes. This is only minute 28. 1 minute 28 seconds. This is 720p, 60 frames per second, and I use Fraps to record my content. And Fraps splits up the videos after they reach a certain file size, which would be roughly 4 to 5 gigabytes, which is why there's so many of them. Normally, I would prefer that all the videos just stay in one single file, but Fraps does not allow that for whatever reason. So what I have to do instead is close this file, and then what I would have to do normally is do all this and then say ++ and then AVI source and then do it all again, but that's a pain in the ass. So what I'm going to do instead is save that, and then I'm just going to rename all these files to something really simple. 1, 2, 3, and etc. And this will just make it really easy for me to write down everything in the script, rather than having to copy and paste, or, God forbid, hand write every single one of these file names. And then I do 1.avi. And there are 2 options in order to connect all these videos together. I could say ++ and then AVI source at 2.avi and do that for all 11. Or I can do this and then comma and then quotation and then 2.avi, and that's a bit faster. But what I'm actually going to do instead is copy the names 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then just change the names here. See, it's all about taking shortcuts. If you're like really serious into video editing, or like if you've seen that Grump Out video about how Barry does his edits to the Game Grumps videos, this is not how you want to do shit like that. AVISource, it's quick, it's free, it's not easy, there's a huge learning curve to it, but it's very minimalist. If you don't want to spend any money, or you don't have a computer to handle big editing steps like using Adobe Premiere, then AVISynth might be the way to go. And if you're the patient learning type, then that would certainly help out a lot. So anyway, we have all 11 video files ready to go. We'll just open them up in the script, and as you can see, all of them, they're all here. Hooray! We have all 15, 16 minutes of content right here. Now, what I could do, I can't just upload these as they are to YouTube. They are too large, they are too short, and I don't think YouTube would even accept the codec that these videos use anyway. I tried uploading an AVI file that was a different type of lossless codec, not AVI or whatever Fraps uses, but it didn't accept it. So we're going to have to take all these, and we're going to have to splice them together, but hopefully we want a video that is not 41 gigabytes. We're aiming for something more towards like half a gigabyte, 500 megs. So, in order to do our edits, we would have to first get them all into AVISource right here, and then we're gonna look through the video, look through all this, and we're gonna look for where we're going to do our trims and where we're going to cut the video down and all the other edits that we're going to make. So, like, I could just connect them all to, like, I could just do no edits at all and just upload them as you see it right now, but like, that's ugly and we're not going to do that. So, just for instance, we don't want this pick and pluck, this tooltip to be at the very beginning of the video, so we're going to skip ahead a little bit and find the first frame that we want the video to start on, and typically I like it right here. Like the very corner of the tooltip is still visible, but like the very next frame is going to go away, and you're not going to see that in the YouTube video. And right over here, you probably can't see the cursor on the video, but on the lower right hand corner of the video, before the black bars, you can still see the loading symbol, but like I said, this is going to disappear on YouTube. You're not going to see it. So down here at the bottom, I'm highlighting it right now, it says frame 66. This is the current frame of the video that we're stopped on. It is 1.1 seconds into the video. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our script, and we're going to type in a command. We're going to tell AVISynth rather, to do something with our video, and the command that we're going to use is called dissolve. And this is kind of a fade sort of dissolve, like fade in, fade out. There's actually a fade in, fade out command called fade.io, and it would do essentially the same thing as dissolve, but it would also leave black bars, or a black screen rather, where we make our cuts, and we don't want that. Like if you've been watching the videos from Smash Bros. Nova Scotia and Smash Bros. Halifax for the past however many years, you would notice that between matches, it would just fade from one into the other pretty naturally. And I use the dissolve command for that specifically. So in order to use dissolve, we use an open parentheses and then the word trim. And the trim is the first command that anyone using AVISynth is going to learn. And what trim does is, you use another open parentheses and you type in a number, then a comma, and then another number. And it will include, like your script, if you just use trim, then it will include the whole video between these two numbers that you specified. So if you use 0, then it means the very beginning of the video, and if you use the 0 after the comma, it means the very end. So if I were to say trim 00, I'd accept that, and it would make absolutely no changes because we're just trimming the very beginning of the video to the very end. So nothing's changed. But as we decided 66 is going to be our opening frame, so we want, well, put dissolve back in first of all. Dissolve, and then trim, and then 66. So if we save that, actually we're going to need to do this, and I'll explain that in a second. But if we put that in, and then we open it up, it'll not work. Resolve. It should have. It's not. Give me a second. Okay, so I figured it out. I used the dissolve command prematurely. It turns out if you don't include a second trim, then dissolve does absolutely nothing. So that would be my mistake. We'll just reload that. There we go. Okay, so our opening frame is going to be frame 66. Now we want a closing frame to begin the dissolve. So our closing frame would be at the end of the first match, which would be right here. Now what I like to do is, like as soon as the game ends, like as soon as the word game comes up, then you could just say that your ending cut is anywhere you want. But what I do particularly is, if you look at where Lucario's Pokeball symbol is, it's kind of faded right now, but if we inch forward a couple frames, like it gets solid right there. And that is the frame that I like to end my trims on. So this frame in particular is frame 19344. So we're going to go into here into our script and say our opening frame is frame 66, and our closing frame is 19344. But like I said, if you just use one trim with dissolve, then dissolve's not going to do anything else. So we're going to say a second trim, and we're going to find where the second match begins, which would be right here. Look back a little bit. Right here, this frame in particular, 20286. So we're going to do the exact same thing that we just did with our first trim. 20286 is our beginning frame. We're going to hit a comma, and we're going to find a closing frame. Oops. And it turns out Canon actually kicked my ass that time. Looks like customs aren't actually that great. Legalized customs. So this would be our stop frame, 38384. 38384. And then we're going to do a third one, because there are 3 matches, so we're going to need to do 3 trims, and we're going to find the last one. Which is right here, this frame in particular. So, down here it says 40721, 40721, and then find our closing frame right. For whatever reason, our video doubled up in size. AVISynth does that sometimes if you try to confuse it. I think because I used the dissolve trim prematurely, this is what resulted. But we'll be fine as long as we just ignore that. But actually, if you hit 2, or even just 1 rather, but I prefer 2 pound signs right here, and then hit save, then it assumes that everything after the pound signs are a comment, and it completely ignores them. So that's a good way to like remove whatever trims or effects that you're doing to a video without actually deleting them. So we're going to start again. And we said that our opening frame for this one is 40721, and that's not going to change. 40721. See, that's our opening frame right there. And then from here we're going to find where we want the video to end. And since I won the set, I want it. Alright, so since I won the set, I want the video to say that Lucario won at the very end, so we're going to actually say that this one goes until 0. And we're going to close and then hit 0, the comma, and then we're going to say 60 and then close ampersand, or parentheses, close parentheses. And we're going to get rid of these pound signs. So, this number right here, this number refers to how many frames it takes for the trims to transition from one to the other. So since the video is 60 frames per second, I want 60 frames, so it'll take exactly 1 second for the trims to transition between each other. So if I were to run this script as it is right now, let's see, it begins at the very beginning of our set, and when we find the other trim, which would be at the end of this match, as soon as I force palm him there. go. Alright, so you'll notice that it goes straight from the first match to the second through a dissolve. See how it just kind of fades from one into the other? That's all that, that is the power of this one line right here. That's all that does. So if I were to take this number and change it to something ridiculous, say 6,000, and then save that, and then start it, the actual length of the video shouldn't change, I don't think, but the trim into the second video will begin 6,000 frames earlier than we want it to. So let's see if we can't find that. And see if you'll notice how long it takes for the video, like right here, like you can see the second match is beginning to transition into the first one. And then it just becomes a mess. So that's the power of what a single number can do. If just one of these numbers anywhere is completely wrong, and then it just throws everything off, and you'll have to start again and find out what you did wrong. And that's what it's like to be a programmer, I guess. I've never actually programmed anything, I just know how to use AVISynth or AVISynth. So that was a basic trim. We could take this and we could run it through MeGUI, and that'll spin out a MP4 file that can be uploaded to YouTube, and that would be hunky-dory. But we're not actually done here. This video is 720p. We don't want it to be. We want it to be 1080p. So I'm going to perform a cardinal sin here, and I'm going to blow up the image. We're going to use something called AVISynth resize. There are other types of resize. There are bilinear. Some people prefer bilinear. There's nearest neighbor. Some people swear by that one as being the go-to resize option. If possible, I just like AVISynth resize. Not a lot of people like it because while it is really good, it's also slow. But I'm not really here to, like, I have time to burn, and often the encoding process is done while I am asleep and therefore not using my computer anyway. So, like, what does a couple extra minutes or hours matter to me when I'm fast asleep anyway? So, AVISynth resize. This is a command that resizes the video to however you want it to be. Let's make it something ridiculous again, like I don't know, 1420 by 727. There, it will resize the video to be those dimensions that I specified, and now I 4x3 the video a little bit. That doesn't look too bad actually. Okay, as I was saying, this actually didn't come out too ugly. I mean, it's 4x3. The image is too tall, and like as it is, it's serviceable, I suppose. It looks really slow like that because Virtual Dub is trying to do the resizing like in real time. Like these edits that I'm making to the videos, they're not like hammered in, or I don't really know how to explain it, but it's trying to process them as they come, and that's why the video shows up so slowly. It's not going to look like that in the final thing. I mean, I've been doing this for years, and if you've looked at Smash Bros. Nova Scotia videos, then you notice that they don't run quite that badly. But anyway, let's try making this even more ridiculous. 1420 by 7000. And see what happens there. And we get this giant ass video that's way too tall, doesn't fit on the screen, you don't know what's happening. You see the number pretty well, sorta. But that's what AVISynth resize does. So, actually, I'm doing this in the wrong order. We're going to turn this into a comment and then reload this. First thing we want to do, the very first thing we want to do is, you'll notice that this video has black bars on the sides of it, and we want to get rid of those. Those will be included on the final video if we just leave them in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with filters. This is a completely optional step, cropping out these the black borders. I mean, I guess it's not, but how you find out what you need to crop is completely up to you. So when we go to null transform in Virtual Dub, it says that our video dimensions are 1472 by 720. So we're going to go down to cropping, and it'll bring this up. And if we click and drag on the borders, then we can just crop the video however we like. just like this. And we can, like, if we were just crop it down to here, and then hit OK, and then OK, and you'll see the video on the right hand side is I'm having trouble showing it off, but you'll see the video on the right hand side. This is after all the cropping and all the edits that we've done to our video. So if we hit play, then it shows, no, that's the wrong play button, this one, there. Now it shows what our video would look like after all our edits, after all of our edits had been applied. So we're going to hit stop and we're going to undo what we just did. This one, cropping. Alright, so we're going to go up here and we're going to find out how much we need to crop to get rid of these black borders. So I'm going to click and drag and then we're just going to pinch it forward. And it is 97 for X1, and over here it is 95. So we're going to hit OK, and it says 1280 by 720, which is 720p exactly, which is what we want. And when we hit OK, you'll see the video on the right. It doesn't fit on the screen, but the video on the right is what our video would look like after all our edits and processing, and it looks pretty good. But we don't want to do our edits in Virtual Dub, and I'll explain why later. So we're going to go into our script again. We're going to hit enter, and we're going to enter in a new command called crop, which does exactly what I just described. And we're going to need 4 numbers, this one, and then -0, and then -0. And oops. And they all reference different coordinates on the video. This one would be x1, y1, then x2, and then y2. And they refer to left, top, and then right, and then bottom. So the numbers we want to cut out are this 0 right here, and this -0 right here. We want to change these ones. So we just found out that the one on the left is 97, so we're going to type in 97 here, and the one on the right is 95, minus 95, and we're going to hit save, go into file, open that up again, and then Bob's your uncle. So here's what our video looks like after our edits with no processing done in Virtual Dub. And we're just about ready to go. Alright, so this is a little late into the steps, but what we're going to do is we're going to take our script and we're going to rename it to the set name, which is Croy versus quote. And the reason for that is because once we put it in MeGUI, or MeGUI, whatever you want to call it, it will spit out the video in which will be named what the script file is called. So if we didn't change it, then we'd get a video called new AVISynth script. So we're going to open that up again, and we're going to take away this comment, and we're going to change our resize to 1920 by 1080. Let's do that. Open it up, and there's our video in all its 1080p glory. It's not actually 1080p, I know I'm blowing it up. It's, like, honestly, if anyone is going to find a difference between what this video looks like and how it looks like on the system when you record it at 1080, or when you play it at 1080, then I'll be very surprised. I'm pretty sure no modern system actually plays at 1080, they just upsize it themselves. And I mean, I could be wrong, it's still going to look great, it's still going to be 1080, and it's still going to be 60 frames per second. The biggest reason why I don't record at 60 frames per second 1080p is because I don't think my system can handle it. 1080p 60 recording, I mean, this is 720p and this is 41 gigs, and this whole thing is 220 gigs, and this is on a 500 gig drive, and like, it gets expensive, it gets hardware intensive. So this is like asking lossless 1080p at 60 frames per second. That's going to be a little much to bite off. I can do 1080 30, but we all want the very best of the best. But anywho, this is what it's going to look like. I wonder if I can full screen. Is it this? Nope, guess not. Alright. So we've done this. This is our edits to Croy versus quote. So the best thing about AVISynth is that it's really easy to do batches and just take all these edits, like everything that we've done here, and apply them to absolutely everything that we've done here without changing too many letters. I mean, as soon as you do it once, then you've done it pretty much all the other time. So we're going to take quote versus quote, we're going to pop it into here, and we're going to rename all these videos once again. And pause. Alright, and I'm back. If you'll notice in the lower right hand corner down here, it is now 5 in the morning. And I didn't actually do a whole lot to justify that. Most of that was transferring files because my previous recording is all this. And when I record video, I record it to my solid state drive, which is not known for their file size or their drive space. So I had to move all of this over to my larger external hard drive, which took quite a long time. That's the hardest part about doing these videos, is that it's mostly waiting. Like, I went ahead and finished all the edits, and like, here's all of them for all the different sets, and we already saw that one, and blah blah blah. That doesn't take very long at all. That's not the hard part. That's just doing it once, and then copying and pasting, and changing a couple numbers, and then just waiting. But all of this that I've showed you is when I do personal recordings on my own time, like this video right here. This is when I sat down and I recorded it off my Wii U. So these are all AVI files, which you don't get from recording off of OBS or XSplit. And AVI Source, or AVISynth rather, does not very much prefer working with MP4 files. It very much prefers working with AVI files, hence the name. So how do I work with the videos from the stream? Well, that's it's still possible. I mean, I have to use a plugin. It's called FFMS2, and I use these commands rather than AVI Source. I use FF Audio Source and FF Video Source, and it gets me what I want. So let's open this up and open up the first one. When you do exactly this and you try to load it up, it's going to take a while because it's trying to make this index file, but eventually it will go. And here we have the videos for the round robin as they were recorded on the stream, with all the commentary and all the audio. So here we have Crypt versus KMag, just as an example. And these are all the videos, or all the matches that were done on the stream in two rather large videos. And the first one is only 4 gigs, as you can see down here, and it's 2.5 hours long. So the reason why the AVI files are so much bigger is because they are lossless, while these are lossy, meaning they lose a lot of color space, and they get rid of, well, they do a lot of filtering that your eye probably isn't going to notice in motion, but if you look at it frame by frame, then you're going to notice like a lot of jaggeds around like if you look on the screen here, if you look at Palatine's percentage, it says 54. It's really aliased on the 4, as if that's not going to show up on the AVI file. So it's stuff like that. Also, it kind of helps that the stream videos are at 30 frames per second rather than my AVI files are at 60. So, let's say you want to edit these down. Well, you could. What you have to do is, when you do this one file, this 1, and it leads to this MP4 file, which is the first of 2 stream files. If you want, you could, like, what you could do is you could just copy this and then paste it, and then look into the file for the trims that you want to make. Let's say, I don't fucking care, 8700 to 21600, whatever. I don't do dissolves on the stream videos. I just do plain old cuts, one from the other. And you could do just copy that and then do the trims here, like trim 8700 to whatever. And you could do that, but that's a huge waste because you're relying on this index file again and again and again, and that's going to be really, really slow, so let's get rid of that. And what we're going to do instead is we're going to make a new file, and we're going to call this whatever the first set is. So we're going to have to find that, which is always the fun part, just looking through the videos. This is Christian versus Millennium Falcon. And we're just going to start this video at the very beginning, which is 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this, I always do them in alphabetical order, regardless of what the ports are. So this would be Millennium Falcon versus Gypsy. And we open this up, and then we, rather than AVI source or FF video source or whatever, we do import. And what import does is, if you want to use multiple AVISynth files in a single edit, import is the best. You can also actually use AVI source to reference an AVS file, which is what these are. These script files, they're called AVS files. But if you do that, then it'll probably horribly confuse MeGUI if you try to do that later. So import is the go-to function for when you're trying to do that. And we say 1.avs, and then we save that, and then we run it, and then we're importing one AVS, and it's including all the edits to one AVS right here. So it's assuming that we're editing just one.avs right now. So what this allows us to do is we can make our trims here, which would be trim 0, which is the very beginning of the movie, to when this set ends, which would be not here, which would be let's see, it's about, fuck it, we'll just say it's about here, 2080. And that is Millennium Falcon versus Gypsy right there. That's all I have to do. Just load that up into MeGUI, and off I go. Bob's your uncle. Oh yeah, that includes when we tried to unlock Smashville in the event mode. The whole video is 11 minutes, so I'll probably cut that out later, whatever. So yeah, you just do that again and again and again until you have all the sets that you want. So actually before I do, you'll notice that I have two WAV files here, which is the WAV files for these videos. And there's a reason for that. If I go into here and it says FF audio source, if I try to use this command specifically with MeGUI, it's going to lock up. And I don't know why. It's probably because FF audio source requires this plugin, and MeGUI doesn't work very well with plugins. At least I don't think so. So what I do instead is I take the WAV file from this video, which I get by either loading this up and then going to File on VirtualDub and then Save WAV. I could do that, or I could go to my desktop and take this MP4 file and load it up in Audacity, which is right here. Either way, you're going to get the same result. Audacity might be slightly faster, especially because it doesn't need to index the file. But anyway, either way, whatever I do, over here, what I do is I change FF audio source to wave source, and then 1.wave, and that will get me the exact same result. There we go. So it's the audio is good to go. FF video source probably going to be a problem later down the line as well. So what I do instead is I use a preset that I have written down from a while ago in order to find the FPS for this command. Well, first of all, directional source. It's kind of like AVI source, except it works for pretty much any extension you can think of, in MP4, NKV, MOV, whatever. But there are some limitations. It's much more finicky. It doesn't come with audio. You're going to have to get that in some other way, which is what wave source is for in this case. In order to get the FPS file, we're going to load up this one, which has not been edited. See, it's still the same. And we're going to, where is it? File information. And it's going to tell us right up here at the top, the very first line. It says 1280 by 70, 30 frames per second. Some videos are a little different. Like one time we recorded a video that was at 29.834. I don't know why, but whatever. We're going to change this to 30. And we're going to take this whole line, copy, and paste here, and change 3 to 1. And off we go. This video is ready to go. So we just edit that over and over. Like since 1 is our master, If we do any edits to that, then we naturally do edits to Millennium Falcon versus Jixian. So if we just load up Millennium Falcon versus Jixian with no changes to it, it should be perfectly fine, and there we go. Absolutely the same. The only difference is that it's going to be on the technical end of things. It's not going to hang up. It's not going to give me sass when I try to encode it later. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to hit pause on my recording, and I'm going to do the recordings, or rather the scripts for all the other movies for these. Alright, so time is currently 5:45 in the morning. That is not a that was not a overzealous time lapse or anything. It really did take that long to finish all the cuts and edits that I'm doing, but here they all are. Every single one of these is going to be a video once they are done processing, which is going to be several more hours yet. And thankfully I don't have to actually do anything. I just have to put in some more numbers and then off I go. But yeah, this is all of them. My work is essentially done. What I do now is I go to Documents, and I go to Programs, MIGUI, and I start up MIGUI. I can close Virtual though, I don't need it anymore. Close Firefox, or minimize rather. And just wait for, there we go. Alright, so I already have all my presets loaded. If you're gonna be doing what I'm doing, then you're gonna need to fuck around with your settings and find out what works best for you, but you know, you want X264, I have it on slower. People typically recommend just slow. Bitrate is 2000, automated 2-pass, this one's very important. Your audio, most people prefer Afton AC3. You can do MP3, you can do FLAC, you can do OGG, whatever, doesn't matter really, but Afton will get you the most bang for your buck. You go to AVISynth script, you go to Browse, and we're looking for the edits that I did. It's in here, and we'll just start with Grip versus Kipka, and it'll automatically detect AVS. Well, that's the only thing that I'm searching for really. You could go to all files, but it won't do anything, right? Just wants AVS. So you click this, and then give it a second. It's loading up everything, and this is what your video will look like. You could hit play down in the corner here. It will give you like a really lame playback of what it will be. Like, there's no audio, the frames will skip all over the place. Like I said, with Virtual Dub, it's trying to do the same thing. It's trying to do all the edits as they come, rather than like pressing them all together and then playing back. Well, like, you know what I mean, whatever. But we can close that preview. That preview is only there to show us that it understands what we're getting and what we're putting into it. So once we do that and we get our preview, then we go down to auto encode. We click on that, and it will tell us the container. You want MP4, that's the best. Devices standard. I mean, when you click on any of these devices, it's just loading presets for what you want. So like if you do iPad, then it'll try to give you the appropriate bitrate for videos typically on iPad. Name of output, we're actually going to change this just to new folder. Just the destination rather, not the name. And the name will always be the name of your AVS script plus -mux.mp4, and that's just to tell you what the final, like, that's just to differentiate it from any other MP4 files that you may have in there. If you already have a CRIF versus GIF.mux and you try to make a new one, then it will add -.0 to it, and -.1, etc., etc. The average bitrate, that's variable between a lot of people. I find that higher definition video, like 1920 by 1080, it requires a much higher bitrate in order to maintain its quality. Most people would say like 1280 is pretty good. Oops, not 12,000. Whatever, 1280 is pretty good. 107 megabytes. That's pretty small, and the video is going to come out pretty grainy, in my opinion. My default is 4,000, but really that's just a ballpark. I more go for video size. I shoot for about 350. There is some leeway there. I can go as high as 450. If 4,000 comes out too low, I might buff it up to 500. That'll give me another 100 megabytes, but the video will come out looking a little nicer. But let's say 4,200. That looks like a good number. And then once that's done, we hit Q. And then that's done. We click on the Q tab up in the corner here. and it'll bring us to what our current jobs are. There are 4 jobs. The first is the audio. It'll do the audio first, and when you hit start down here, it'll start the jobs. Audio will go by real fast. The first pass of the video will go by much slower, and the second pass of the video will go by much slower than that. But mux will go by the fastest. What it does is it creates audio and video and second pass video all as different files, and what the mux does is it mixes them all together into a single MP4 file. So yeah, you just click the start button and off you go, and it's a whole lot more waiting. And good news, or this is a good function of MeGUI, because it knows that you're probably going to be using it for a lot of batch jobs. Down here is the after encoding option. You can click on shutdown, and then after MeGUI has finished everything, once it does its last job, a window will come up saying MeGUI has finished all its jobs and it's been told to shut down. Do you want to proceed? And if not, click this button. If so, do nothing for 30 seconds. And after 30 seconds, it will shut down my computer for me, which is nice. The thing about encoding these videos, though, is that it requires 100% of my processing power. Right now I'm using roughly 24 to 30 or whatever for recording this video, but it's going to need all 100% in order to do these videos. So I'm going to stop my video, and the next time I cut back into this video, hopefully all my jobs will be done, and I'll show you what the final thing looks like. And welcome back! It is, if you look down in the corner here, it is actually Tuesday the 24th, so this whole process took 2 days. That's how long it takes to do the processing on these videos. This one actually took quite a bit longer than I was used to, because every video up to here, those were all the 1080p 60 frames per second videos, and they took a lot longer than I was expecting. All of these videos, they were the stream videos, and they went by much faster. But yeah, it took me 2 days. It is 4:30 in the afternoon, and let's take a look. These are all the videos here. This one, this one, this one, this one. Yeah, these this is how all they look, and when you bring them up, this is how they'll look on YouTube when I upload them later, which will be another couple hours. I mean, that's probably not going to get done until 10 o'clock, and that's assuming I start right now. But yeah, that's how the whole thing is done. And that's my tutorial on how I do these videos for Smash Bros. The only thing left now is to upload them to YouTube, and if you've uploaded any video to YouTube, then you know how that goes, so there's nothing much more to talk about, really. I just gotta upload them, give them the title, and their descriptions, and off I go. And hopefully the editing on this video that I'm doing won't take too long, because I'd like to upload it with all these other videos. But yeah, I hope this has been insightful, and I hope you've learned something about how I do my work for my community. And I don't know what I'll talk about next, if anything, but I'll see you then.